Did you know that the way you drink coffee can directly influence your memory, your attention, and even protect your brain against dementia? What's more, thousands of people over 60 make a silent mistake every single day when drinking the world's most popular beverage, and you could be one of them. Before we continue, stop for a moment and answer honestly. Are you more forgetful than you used to be? Is your concentration not what it was a few years ago? Do you have trouble remembering names, appointments, or even simple words? If you answered yes to at least one of these questions, this video is specifically for you. I'm Dr. Brad Westwood, a specialist in brain health and cognitive aging. For over 25 years, I've been helping men and women over 60 maintain an active mind, a strong memory, and balanced mental well-being. And today, I'm going to reveal how a simple cup of coffee, taken the right way, can become a true shield against cognitive decline. But be careful. It's not enough to just drink coffee. You need to know how much, when, and with what to drink it, because coffee can be both an ally and a silent enemy of your mental health. Stay with me until the end, because in the next few minutes, I'll share 10 secrets that every senior should know about coffee and the brain. I'll even share real stories of people like Sarah and Michael who changed the way they drank coffee and noticed clear improvements in memory and daily concentration. And before we dive in, tell me in the comments, what city or country are you watching from? I want to know how far this knowledge is reaching. Let's go together. Few people know this, but coffee consumed correctly can act as an authentic natural brain protector, especially for those over 60. Many people see coffee simply as a stimulant, something to wake you up. But that's only part of the story. What almost nobody talks about is that inside every cup there's a set of substances that have profound neuroprotective effects. Among them are caffeine, polyphenols, and chlorogenic acids, all with potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory action. To illustrate this simply, think of your brain as an orchestra. Over time and with age, some musicians start playing out of sync. Memory lapses, difficulty concentrating, mental fatigue. Coffee, used correctly, helps reorganize this orchestra, improving synchrony between the brain areas responsible for memory, attention, and mental clarity. This effect is especially important at a stage of life when the risk of developing diseases like Alzheimer's increases significantly. International studies show that moderate and intelligent coffee consumption is associated with up to a 65% reduction in the risk of developing dementia in older people. But be careful. This benefit isn't just in the drink itself, but also in how it's consumed. And that's exactly what many people over 60 are doing wrong without knowing they're sabotaging their brain health from first thing in the morning. The question you need to ask yourself is, am I drinking coffee to protect my brain or to wear it down even more? If you're ready to learn the truth about coffee and your brain, write the number 1 in the comments right now. Why your brain needs protection after 60 dementia is one of the greatest challenges of our generation. According to the World Health Organization, more than 55 million people live with dementia worldwide, and this number could exceed 150 million by 2050. What's most alarming is that most cases develop slowly, progressively, and silently. It doesn't start overnight. First come small memory lapses, then difficulty performing simple tasks, mental confusion, and mood changes. In many cases, initial symptoms are confused with normal aging, which delays diagnosis and care. But here's a hard truth. Aging does not mean losing your mind. Dementia is not an inevitable consequence of age, and there's a lot we can do to protect the brain. The key is understanding the factors that accelerate cognitive decline, such as chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and changes in cerebral blood flow. And this is precisely where coffee comes in as an ally. But it's important to be clear, coffee is not a cure, nor is it a miracle solution. It's a powerful tool that can help protect the brain when used wisely within a lifestyle that promotes mental health with quality sleep, good nutrition, and light physical activity. Many older people still don't know this. Certain foods and daily habits contribute to brain wear. Constant forgetfulness, difficulty finding words, mental tiredness. All of these can be signs that your brain is asking for help. And that's why you're here. Because a simple change, like adjusting your coffee consumption habits, can be the first step to recovering concentration, improving your memory, and maintaining your independence for years to come. I had a patient named Margaret, 68 years old, who came to me terrified she was developing Alzheimer's. She'd been drinking 5 cups of coffee a day, the last one at 8 p.m., and she couldn't sleep, couldn't remember conversations, and felt anxious all the time. When we restructured her coffee routine to just 2 cups before noon, within 3 weeks her sleep improved, her anxiety disappeared, and her memory came back sharp as ever. That's the power of drinking coffee the right way. How coffee actually works in your brain. Have you ever stopped to think about how exactly coffee can improve attention, concentration, and even memory? The secret lies in how it interacts with key substances in the brain, especially adenosine. Adenosine is like the brain's natural brake. It accumulates throughout the day, making us sluggish, sleepy, and without mental energy. Caffeine, the main active ingredient in coffee, acts as an adenosine blocker. Imagine adenosine as a red traffic light in your brain. Caffeine acts like a police officer changing the signal to green, allowing your thoughts to flow faster, improving concentration, and making you feel more alert. But this is just the beginning. Studies show that caffeine also stimulates the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter essential for motivation, learning, and well-being. That's why when drinking coffee, many people claim to experience serene clarity, a mental state where the mind is alert but not agitated. Additionally, coffee's antioxidants help fight free radicals that damage neurons and accelerate brain aging. These compounds act like a kind of cellular cleaning, protecting brain connections that become more vulnerable with age. But be careful. The brain of a person over 60 doesn't respond the same way as a young person. As we age, sensitivity to caffeine increases, and side effects like insomnia, agitation, or palpitations can also appear more easily. Therefore, it's essential to know the right dose and timing to get the benefits without disrupting the balance of the nervous system. Which brings us to the next critical point. What is the ideal amount of coffee for those who want to protect their mind without overloading their body? If you're still with me and learning things you never knew about coffee, write the number 2 in the comments. The perfect coffee dose for brain protection. When we talk about coffee as an ally for brain health, the most common question I get in my office is, "Doctor, how many cups can I drink per day?" The correct answer depends on factors like individual sensitivity, health history, and sleep habits. However, according to the most recent scientific evidence, the dose considered safe and beneficial for most adults over 60 is between 1 to 3 cups per day, with moderation and paying attention to your body's signals. And attention to an important detail. When we say cup, we're referring to a measure of approximately 5 ounces, not those huge cups that have become common in coffee shops. Studies published in medical journals like the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease show that 2 cups of coffee per day can be associated with lower incidence of mild cognitive impairment, a condition that often precedes dementia, but that doesn't mean more coffee will bring more benefits. Excessive consumption can cause the opposite effect: anxiety, tremors, increased blood pressure, and sleep disorders, factors that over time harm mental and physical health. Therefore, it's essential to pay attention to your body. If after coffee you notice rapid heartbeat, mental agitation, or difficulty relaxing at night, it may be time to reduce the amount or adjust the timing. I had a patient named Robert, 71, who was drinking 6 cups of coffee a day trying to stay sharp. But he had constant tremors, couldn't sleep, and his memory was getting worse, not better. We cut him down to 2 cups before 11 a.m. Within 2 weeks, the tremors stopped. Within a month, his memory improved dramatically. He told me it felt like someone turned the lights back on in his brain. Another important point: avoid adding large amounts of refined sugar or industrial creams to your coffee. These ingredients inflame the body and cancel out some of the positive effects of the drink. So remember, coffee should be a ritual of care and balance, not a crutch to resist fatigue. 1 or 2 cups taken with attention can do much more for your mind than 5 on autopilot. When to drink coffee for maximum brain benefit. Knowing how much to drink is important, but knowing when to drink coffee can be even more decisive for those over 60. The human body functions according to a natural rhythm called the circadian rhythm, which regulates our sleep-wake cycles. Interfering with this biological clock with caffeine at inappropriate times can completely disturb nighttime rest, directly affecting memory, mood, and even the immune system. Many older people make the mistake of drinking coffee late in the afternoon or even after dinner, resulting in sleepless nights, even without realizing it. And sleep, as you well know, is one of the most important pillars for brain health. During deep sleep, the brain literally cleans itself, eliminating accumulated toxins and strengthening neural connections. Without this process, our minds become slower, confused, and vulnerable to wear. Therefore, the general recommendation for people over 60 is to avoid drinking coffee after 2 p.m. The best time to enjoy the positive effects of caffeine is between 9 and 11 in the morning, after the natural peak of cortisol, the wakefulness hormone, when the body is more awake and can better use the energy from coffee. This interval helps increase attention, improve mental clarity, and maintain concentration throughout the day without compromising your nighttime sleep. And if you want a second cup, choose to drink it until 1 p.m. at the latest. More than that can be risky, especially if you have caffeine sensitivity or a history of insomnia. Remember, it's not about drinking more coffee, it's about drinking it at the right time. This simple schedule change can improve your mental energy during the day and your sleep quality at night. I cannot stress this enough. The timing of your coffee is just as important as the amount. I've seen patients transform their cognitive function simply by moving their afternoon coffee to the morning. If you're realizing you've been drinking coffee at the wrong times, write the number 3 in the comments. The 5 deadly coffee mistakes after 60. Drinking coffee can be a pleasant and even therapeutic habit, but if done incorrectly, it can harm health, especially after 60, when the body becomes more sensitive to stimuli, like caffeine. Now, look at the most common mistakes I see every day in my office that you might be making too. Mistake number 1, drinking coffee on an empty stomach. This is one of the most common errors. Upon waking, the stomach is empty and gastric acid levels are high. caffeine stimulates acidity even more, which can cause heartburn, burning, and gastrointestinal discomfort. Additionally, during fasting, coffee can trigger spikes of anxiety and tremors in some people. The ideal is to drink coffee after a light meal, even if it's a slice of whole grain bread or some nuts. Mistake number 2, drinking coffee late at night. We already talked about this, but it's worth reinforcing. Drinking coffee after 2 p.m. can directly interfere with your sleep. Even if you think you sleep well, sleep can become lighter and less restorative, making brain cleaning difficult and increasing the risk of cognitive decline. Mistake number 3, sweetening coffee with refined sugar. This is an ingrained but extremely harmful habit. Sugar, especially white sugar, increases the risk of inflammation, diabetes, and premature brain aging. If you feel the need to sweeten, try reducing it little by little or use cinnamon, which in addition to adding flavor, helps stabilize blood sugar. Mistake number 4, drinking coffee as a meal substitute. Many people use coffee to fool hunger, but coffee doesn't nourish, and this practice can lead to energy loss, irritability, and loss of muscle mass over time. Coffee is a complement, not a substitute. Always accompany it with a light, balanced meal. And mistake number 5, not paying attention to your body's signals. If coffee makes you restless, if you feel your heart racing, or if it's difficult to relax, respect these signals. Each organism reacts differently, and what is beneficial for one can be harmful for another. Correcting these simple mistakes can transform coffee from an invisible villain into a true ally of your memory, disposition, and daily well-being. The best coffee combinations for your brain. Did you know that coffee can become even more powerful when combined with the right foods? What you add or don't add to your cup can amplify its positive effects on the brain, or, on the contrary, completely cancel them out. This is especially true after 60, when metabolism changes and the brain requires greater nutritional input. Discover now the best combinations to transform your coffee into an authentic therapeutic ritual. First, coffee with coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil. These good fats help absorb coffee's antioxidant compounds and promote satiety. Additionally, the medium-chain fatty acids in coconut oil can provide direct energy to the brain, helping with mental clarity and concentration. I've had patients add 1 teaspoon of MCT oil to their morning coffee and report feeling mentally sharper for hours. Second, coffee with cinnamon. Cinnamon is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and helps control blood sugar levels. By adding a pinch of cinnamon to coffee, you balance the flavor and improve metabolic response, which is especially useful for those with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, common after 60. Third, coffee after a breakfast rich in protein and fiber. Drink coffee after a meal rich in eggs, oatmeal, or seeds like chia or flax. This modulates caffeine absorption and avoids energy spikes followed by sudden drops. It keeps the mind active longer without that feeling of sudden fatigue. And fourth, avoid mixing coffee with white bread, pastries, and refined sugar. These foods rapidly increase blood glucose levels, which can cause silent inflammation in the brain long term. The combination of coffee with sugar and refined flour is one of the worst eating habits for those who want to preserve memory. Remember, coffee is like a conductor, but the whole orchestra depends on the other elements of your diet. With these simple combinations, you can transform your coffee into something much better, a daily boost for your mental clarity, concentration, and neurological health. By adding a pinch of cinnamon to coffee, You balance the flavor and improve metabolic response, which is especially useful for those with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, common after 60. Third, coffee after a breakfast rich in protein and fiber. Drink coffee after a meal rich in eggs, oatmeal, or seeds like chia or flax. This modulates caffeine absorption and avoids energy spikes followed by sudden drops. It keeps the mind active longer without that feeling of sudden fatigue. And fourth, avoid mixing coffee with white bread, pastries, and refined sugar. These foods rapidly increase blood glucose levels, which can cause silent inflammation in the brain long term. The combination of coffee with sugar and refined flour is one of the worst eating habits for those who want to preserve memory. Remember, coffee is like a conductor, but the whole orchestra depends on the other elements of your diet. With these simple combinations, you can transform your coffee into something much better, a daily boost for your mental clarity, concentration, and neurological health. Real stories of coffee transformation. Nothing better than real life to show how small changes can make big differences. Next, I'll share 2 brief but very significant clinical cases of patients I've followed over recent years. Sarah, 67 years old, from Texas. Sarah always drank 4 cups of coffee a day, the last one around 7 p.m. She complained of mental fatigue, frequent forgetfulness, and light sleep. She thought she was just getting old. We reorganized her routine. We limited coffee to 2 cups only in the morning, and she started drinking it with a small portion of nuts and a boiled egg at breakfast. Within 15 days, she noticed improvements in her sleep. Within 30 days, she felt more energetic, and her short-term memory, like remembering names and tasks, improved visibly. Sarah didn't change the world. She simply changed the timing and context of her cup of coffee. Michael, 72 years old, from Florida. Michael used coffee as fuel, 5 cups a day, sweetened with 2 tablespoons of sugar. He reported mild tremors, anxiety, and constant forgetfulness. We started by reducing the dose to 3 cups, then to 2. He started adding cinnamon instead of sugar and preferred filtered coffee. In less than a month, the tremors disappeared, and his mind felt clearer, as he described it. These 2 examples show something very clear. You don't have to eliminate coffee. Simply make it a conscious ally of your health. Your brain deserves that respect. And so do you. Coffee as a daily brain ritual. For many people, coffee is simply an automatic habit. They wake up, turn on the machine, and drink it standing up in a hurry, thinking about the day's tasks. But what if I told you that coffee can be much more than that? Coffee can become a therapeutic ritual, a daily moment of pause, presence, and brain care. Imagine starting the day calmly, preparing your cup with full attention, sitting a few minutes in silence, perhaps under the morning sun, savoring your coffee without rushing. This simple gesture activates not only your mind, but also your emotional well-being circuits. Studies show that creating conscious rituals, like preparing coffee with intention in a calm environment, reduces stress, improves concentration, and strengthens emotional memory, which is essential for maintaining emotional connections and sense of identity in old age. Additionally, associating coffee with a positive moment sends a clear message to the brain. It's time to be present. This helps break the cycle of morning anxiety and creates a daily space for inner balance. You don't have to change everything in your routine. Simply redefine what this cup of coffee represents. It could be just caffeine, or it could be your moment of lucidity, connection, and care for what's most valuable to you, your mind. If this resonates with you and you're ready to make coffee a conscious brain ritual, write the word coffee in the comments. Your brain deserves better coffee. We've reached the end of this video, and from my heart, I hope that from today you look at coffee differently. More than a drink, coffee can be a care tool, a silent ally that, if used with balance, helps keep memory active, mind focused, and brain health protected, even after 60. I'm Dr. Brad Westwood, a doctor with over 25 years of experience in aging health, and I want to remind you of something. You can still improve how your mind works. Small decisions, like the time you drink coffee, the right amount, or what you accompany it with, can make a big difference. If any recommendation today helped you, tell me in the comments. What change are you going to try tomorrow in your routine? And take advantage to write me what city or country you're watching from. I'd love to know how far this content has reached, and if you know someone who needs this information, share it. Many people suffer with forgetfulness, insomnia, or nervousness without knowing the problem might be in the cup. Hit the like button, comment, and save this video to watch later, and we'll see each other very soon with more clear, useful content designed especially for you who want to age with mental clarity, autonomy, and well-being. Until next time, stay sharp and protect that beautiful brain of yours.